Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
I never played baseball. I threw a baseball for my first ever time when I was like, no joke, like 22. And
oh yeah, you're a cricket guy, right?
Never, no, not fucking cricket. What do I like? Fucking British to you? Oh my God, that's like the most insulting thing you've ever said. Honestly, I've tried to understand cricket. I've made an effort. I can't.
It's impossible to understand when a game goes. Like, baseball's already too long.
That's a sticky wicket.
They're like, bro, let's make baseball, but let's make it last 14 hours instead of 4.
I'm pretty sure cricket was first.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was. You're right. But
they were like, let's make baseball. What's baseball? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We'll get there.
So it's like baseball. It's like, what?
I feel like this could be a scene in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Have you seen the new Bill and Ted? Have you seen the new Bill and Ted?
The new one's awesome.
Yeah. So good. So fucking good.
The new reboots, I gotta say, are coming in hard and they're coming in awesome.
You know why? You want to know why? Because you're old. All you have is nostalgia.
The Matrix reboot is one of the best reboots I've ever seen.
I loved it.
Amazing.
People were making fun of it. I was like, I was all in.
They made fun of, how can you make fun of it when they're making fun of themselves for 45 minutes of the movie? They literally tell, have you guys all seen it?
I got the gist.
Okay. But so they literally tell Keanu Reeves right in the movie, like, hey, you better get on board with this because if you don't, we're going to do it without you. And that's literally probably the conversation they actually had with Keanu.
No, I'm pretty sure they probably went to that Wachowski sister that directed it. It was like, we're going to make it regardless of you. And she was like, all right, well, I'll do it then. Cause I don't want you to fuck it up, even though like, there's like no story left to tell, but he gets put back in the Matrix. That's the best part.
It's so good.
I've been saying that for years. The only way to make a new Matrix movie is to put him back in the Matrix. That's because the only good thing about the Matrix was him getting yanked out of that fucking gooey uterus at the fucking start of the fucking movie. And he's all bald and like fucking, there's like tubes coming out of him. It's like one of the greatest scenes in science fiction history, which that line, the fucking birthing scene from the Matrix is one of the greatest scenes in science fiction history, like will be on my gravestone. I've said that so many times in my life. Like if it was like, take a shot every time Dave says that, the world will be drunk. Let's start the show. The Antonio Brown situation is, I wouldn't say even a polarizing one at this point because it's everyone just fed up. I feel like I'm fed up. Like there's a part of me that wants to be empathetic about it, but like, all right, let me ask you this, Ray, why did he do that? Can you explain it? Can anyone explain it?
I mean, I don't think anyone has a definitive answer. Obviously, I think that
does he?
No, he definitely doesn't. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he has not been right since Montez Burfict laid his ass out in that playoff game years ago.
Do you think it's a concussion symptom?
No, I mean, he laid him out. And it's like, I feel like we make many jokes about CTE and, and once again, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. But at the end of the day, I think people are really just fed away and be like, you opened up and said that. He's gotten multiple chances. So he got chances in New England. He got a chance in Las Vegas. He had chances in Tampa Bay. And, he's burned a lot of bridges. And it's just like, I mean, at what point enough is enough? Now, for the people that keep speaking about, well, he could have made $333,000 and he could have did this, he could have that. I said, well, my response will forever and always be, well, if you don't get a fucking fake vaccination card and be out for 3 games, you meet those incentives. Guess what? You get your money. And we don't see him walking off the field like he's getting a fucking YMCA song, with the Jets crowd at MetLife Stadium. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, if people are fed up, great. If they support him, great. But like, it's unfortunate that it happened that way. But yeah, he's definitely a lost cause when it comes to football at this moment. I hope he gets help.
He was a nut before that Vontaze Burfict hit, though.
He was.
I know people tied to that, but he was a nut before that.
But he wasn't a loose cannon. He wasn't a loose cannon like that.
It was like there was a screw missing. It was just a little loose, and then it just got knocked out. I mean, I don't know. Like, is it a concussion symptom thing? Maybe, maybe not. I do think he's got at the very least, a personality defect. At the very most, a full-blown mental illness. But I think that, with a guy like him, I question, like, who's around him? Like, who's advising him? I never hear any of this, like, about any of his people. Somebody needs to put an arm around him and be like, bro, like, you're costing yourself money. You're costing us all money. You're wasting your talent. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not responsive to this kind of stuff, but, there is a reason he keeps getting these chances. He's an incredibly talented guy. He's a ludicrously talented guy. And yeah, there's a point for everybody where teams are just going to be like, well, you know what, fucking whatever. We don't want to put up with this shit anymore. Except for probably the Cowboys or the Raiders.
Cowboys aren't taking him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But I think everyone's at their limit. But at this point, do you think he's going to play football again, Bobby? Do you think that's the thing that's going to happen?
I don't. But I think in this situation, I put this more on the Bucs for letting it get this far, if I'm being perfectly honest. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, when Antonio Brown came to the Buccaneers, Bruce Arians didn't even want him on the team. He was specifically like, he's not our kind of guy. This isn't the culture we want. This isn't that, right? But like, he specifically said, if Antonio Brown steps out of line one time, he's out. It was like his thing, because remember, he got caught for the Patriots. It was controversial they even signed him in the first place. So I feel like once he messed up with that vaccination shit, right? And then he knew they needed him. It was a necessity. They needed him back on the field because of how banged up they are. Yeah, they do still need him. And honestly, he'd still be there if he didn't walk off. Even if he just bitched and complained, he'd still be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But the fact they let it get that.
But why? It was so out of nowhere.
I guess it was about an injury. I don't know.
Yeah, he was injured and Arians said he wasn't going back in.
Yeah, I feel like what it comes down to is Arians should have nipped that in the butt when it came to the vaccination thing. He said, if you step out of line, you're out. And then he stepped out of line and he was like, no, he needs to be a pivotal part of this team. And then 2 quarters later, after he says that, literally, no, it's 6 quarters later. So a game and a half later, Antonio Brown's not a member of our team. Let's not talk about him. Let's not. So, you know what I mean? It's a very quick change of heart out of necessity just because of that one. So
Bruce Arians won the fucking lottery when they got Tom Brady in there. Thankfully, he's a great quarterback. He's the greatest quarterback of all time, but he also knows how to run a team. So at least somebody in Tampa Bay knows how to run a team, because it certainly isn't Bruce Arians. But I think, I mean, Ray, let me ask you this. Like, if you're, let's say the head coach at Tampa Bay, if you're Tom Brady, the guy who actually is the head coach in Tampa Bay, are you, like, if you're Tom Brady specifically, are you going just like, it's all good, AB, come on back, buddy. It's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, the dude he catches passes. You know what I mean? He catches passes. Why not?
Hell yeah. He's saying, look, man, fuck BA.
Bro, they were on the field. Tampa Bay was literally on the field. The offense was on the field, and he walked off. He's like, you know what, guys? 3rd down and 2. Well, I'm pulling a Dean Portman from fucking Mighty Ducks 2 and getting fuck.
What does Tom Brady care about that? You think Tom Brady's losing the locker room? He doesn't give a fuck. No, he's not losing that locker room. He's Tom Brady. He's the only man on earth that could get away with this. I agree with you, but I think maybe he just goes like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Come on back. It flashes that winning smile, and then like,
and he should one like trade. We guys have already said it. He needs Antonio Brown, like, not throwing a Scotty Miller every time. And just because I don't even know the guy he threw the touchdown to win the Jets game. That was a hell of a throw too, honestly. But like, yeah, I don't know who the guy is.
He was in the Olympics before. I forget his name.
Oh, okay, cool. But
Cyril something.
Got you.
Cyril Grayson.
Man, I hope this poor bastard doesn't listen to the podcast. He was probably so high, like, I caught that touchdown pass.
Wait, guess what? He knows he wasn't much before that touchdown either. But now you're for be the guy that scored a game when the touchdown against the New York Jets. Hey, congratulations!
All you need is one great catch, man. Just ask David Tyree. Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, no, that's true. He just had a birthday. Him and Eli today. Happy birthday!
I remember that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's cool. I think
I'm going for it. Go cry in the car now.
I think Antonio Brown, like I saw like a little TikTok of a dude. I think he was like a chauffeur or a cab driver, and he like straight up picked up Antonio Brown. And he was like, I got A Bizzle in the back, and I was like, he looks like he's fucking chilling. Like I feel like maybe it's the mental illness.
Oh, he's super unbothered right now. I mean, he went to the Nets game yesterday. Like he's living in.
He released an album that night. That fucking night.
I'm here for it though. I'm here for it. Not bad.
Did he go home and record it? You think? Like, do you think he's just
that shit was already? He already had it.
Amazing.
He's like Prince and Michael Jackson. He's got like 1,000 tracks just waiting in the vault.
Yeah, Prince doesn't even know if he wrote that song or not.
Again.
There's conspiracies out there that it was that the whole show was to promote his album. So like he did it so he could get more views and more eyes on him the day his album comes out.
No, I don't think so.
He's a genius then. That's smart.
I'm just saying, businessman.
That's how you stay relevant in this day and age. So
you heard it here first.
You know more than us. You got the Hollywood.
Breaking. Antonio Brown playing 3D chess with all you dumb fucks. Come on.
Hey, I mean, shit, that's what it might be. But someone's gonna give him another chance though. Like I can see him playing for someone like in Jacksonville next year.
You think so?
I do. I think Jacksonville give him a chance. Why not?
Well, all right.
Talent trumps trouble in this league.
Yeah, if Byron Leftwich becomes the coach up there next year, because he's in the running for that coach, I promise you that he'll give a call to AB and say, "Look, got this young kid, Trevor Lawrence. I need someone that he can throw to besides
ruin him."
Yeah, I guess there's no one in Jacksonville going 10 for 138 and 2 touchdowns.
Not at all.
That's the other thing.
He had missed 3 games. He missed 3 games and came back and had 10 exits. Like
that's the other thing, dude. Like he was making that corner look like a fool in that game too. And I was like, he was having a fucking game, you know. And I was like, because I bet like when we did the fantasy football draft this year of like which problematic but very talented wide receiver was going to do well, I bet on Odell Beckham Jr., which is just like a torturous season of fantasy football because I'd be like, this is the week. Every week I'd be like, it's going to happen. And of course it didn't really. I mean, he had a couple good games, but I think, of course someone's going to give him a chance. Of course. Like, just look at how he was out there. Look at the things he was actually doing. Like that actually leads nicely into the next topic, which we're going to bring up. Sensitive subject, trigger warning for those at home. But we were going to talk about, the Ben Roethlisberger victory lap. And I think, what better time than while it's occurring? I think the reason Antonio Brown has been consistently given chances is he's very, very talented. We have a thing in the NFL where if you're good enough to do the job, it takes quite a lot for a team to not give you a chance to do the job. In Ben Roethlisberger's case, I am fairly adamant that whenever his accolades come up, we should also put next to them the fact that he's a horrible fucking rapist. And I think...
Allegedly.
Yeah, he's allegedly a horrible fucking rapist, but I got in trouble if we keep saying, if we add 50,000 allegedlys to this podcast, it's going to take all fucking night. So everyone can just assume we're saying allegedly, but it's a very hard crime to prove. But I'm just saying, the thing is, at what point, I pose this philosophical question to the group. At what point do we, as a fan base, owe it to larger society to ostracize people who don't live up to the basic bare minimum of moral standards that would prevent you from getting a job if it was me or you, but because of their extreme talent in this particular field, no pun intended, they get given leeway after leeway after leeway, and you have to do a heinous crime on camera, like fucking rock your girlfriend in an elevator to actually even get any kind of punishment from the league. Kneeling down for the national anthem, however, will get you excoriated, no matter what the message is. So I just wonder, at what point do we stop these people, letting these people get away with this? Like, is it the point when the fan bases say, I know he's good and he won us 2 Super Bowls, we don't want him back anymore? Or is it the point where we pressure, just talk to me about it. Talk to me.
I just don't think I just don't think it'll ever happen is the thing, because I don't know what it is about sports in general, but it's the only, like you said, it's the only place where it's just acceptable human nature to separate the person from what you're rooting for and like your city and things like that. Like everyone giving Big Ben a standing ovation obviously is not sitting there like, yeah, Ben, whip that dick out, bro, whip it out, let's go. Like that's obviously not what's happening.
But they are a little. Like to celebrate the man, you celebrate the whole man, don't you? Like when you clap him and you oh, did we lose Bobby?
For now.
All right. I just feel like when you clap the guy, when you celebrate him, you celebrate sort of the whole thing. Him whipping his dick out in the bathroom or like whatever the fuck he was up to that night with that poor girl. So, I mean, Ray, what do you think? What's the line for you? What's the line for you as far as like moral behavior? I mean, look, in the Baseball Hall of Fame, you can't fart in church and get into the fucking Hall of Fame with that character clause or whatever. So I wonder, is it sports or is it the NFL in general just has a toxic culture?
It might be sports in general, but I think the NFL, I guess, you could, it illuminates a little bit more in the NFL. I mean, listen, with Ray Rice, I mean, his career literally ended with that video coming out. Like it was over. Now in the same breath, Kareem Hunt, he kicked somebody, kicked the woman on, it was on camera. And he made his way back into the league. Now, maybe he did the steps that he was supposed to do in order, that redemption tour, as I call it, to get himself right and admit to what was going on and, do all the stuff that the NFL asked him to do behind the scenes. But yeah, your talent will allow you to get chance after chance after chance. And I don't know where you draw the line. I mean, hell, even with Ray Lewis, back in the day.
Yeah, he killed a guy.
Yeah, it was good. Sorry, Craig. Allegedly, right? He allegedly killed someone, right? So allegedly
just in perpetuity. Someone. In perpetuity.
I'm just saying they never found that white suit.
Yeah. But he was back up there the next season.
But then how inconsistent is it? How inconsistent is it? Because Aaron Hernandez does that shit. He gets cut immediately and he goes to fucking jail.
And he was a Gronkowski, baby. And I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to make light of it.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
He wasn't grown. He wasn't scoring 17 touchdowns in the second season. So I think that played a major part into it. So,
but then we're literally saying how good you are determines how much you're going to get, or how prominent of a role you play on the team.
Yeah,
determines how much you're going to get punished. In the context of, because I don't even know if race plays a factor in this as far as like the context of the NFL goes. I mean, I'm sure it plays a factor to some degree, but it's like, but then again, I don't know, because it's like Ben Roethlisberger is like a white guy quarterback. He gets away with this like heinous crime. Michael Vick, on the other hand, does the dogfighting thing and he gets completely excoriated by the masses. He gets murdered in the court of public opinion. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's like, was there some, because like, is your average Bud Light drinking NFL fan gonna take it a little bit more personally if Mike Vick is doing some shit than if Ben Roethlisberger's doing some shit, and Ben Roethlisberger's doing some frat boy shit? You know what I mean? So it fits into their narrative a little bit.
I think with Michael Vick, it wasn't necessarily about him being black. I mean, granted, he was loved in Atlanta. Like that's not debatable.
Yeah, he did play for the Falcons.
Yeah, he played for the Falcons. He was loved down there, right? And that's mostly a predominantly black fan base,
right?
But I think, don't want to go there, but I will go there. Like, I just think we view animals differently than we view human beings.
You can't fuck with dogs. The internet.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you can't fuck with a bunch of air butts. You just can't. Sorry. So I'm just saying. So once that happened, it was like, wait a minute, like you were harming dogs. And once again, I'm against animal cruelty too. I don't think he should have did as much time as he did, but because he was going to be. I agree.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you did, because I think that is sort of how people react. I personally am more of a humanist. Like, I value human life more than animal life. And I eat meat, but I do know what you mean, and I do think that a lot of people do feel that way. You're right about that. That's a good point in that example. But Bobby, before we lost you to your technical difficulties, you were making a point. You were making a good point.
I don't even remember what was I saying.
You were saying that like it's very difficult to say in sports, for some reason, has this preternatural ability to immediately separate the man from the deeds outside of the field. Because I think what you're trying to say, or what you were trying to say before, is there's this kind of weird thing about once they're on the field or on the court, they're kind of this different entity than the people that they are, you know, in their real life. And like, do we care what people they are in real life is, you know?
Right. So it's more of like, to me, when they're on the field and when we're watching them, you know, perform their job, they're more of putting on an act. And like, it's not necessarily about their character. It's about what they're doing right in that moment. And that's why, yes, it is up to their ability sometimes of how much they actually can get away with, because, you know what I mean? The more they do when they're in front of us portraying this character, portraying this, you know, performance of what they're doing, the more we have a tendency to look the other way. It's just the way it's always been.
Naturally a bigger news story if they're a better athlete, right?
Right. And I just think it also has to do with the fact that I think it's more about, for the fans, it's more about the city and the team than it is about that individual person. You know what I mean? Yes, they're going to celebrate the contributions that person contributed towards their team, but I don't think they're really, like I said, they're not cheering for the person themselves. They're cheering for the contributions that they brought to their city and to their team, and like the joy and things they brought to their life.
Totally. And to me, it's less, to me, honestly, it's less on at the feet of Steelers fans, to be quite honest with you, or, you know, whatever team's fans that it's, that the athlete is affected by. It's less on their feet, to be honest with you. To me, it's the coverage that the national news media gives to these people in a very like, we've just forgotten your past transgressions, like, let's clap you out as the curtain falls down. And it's like, just for me personally, like, do you not, when you see it and you see people like, fuck yeah, Ben, like, and going on every show on ESPN to be like, what a great guy, way to contribute to our sport, like, he's a fucking example, you know, he's done all these great things and he's just had all this success in the sport. Are you not just like, is no one going to address the fucking elephant in the room? You know what I mean?
So I didn't hear much of that. I feel like if you hear, you know, Ben's a great human being and he's doing all that.
I'm not saying they're giving him the Man of the Year award on ESPN, but what they're doing is the way that they're talking about him in such glowing terms. They are, yeah, it's in a football sense. And they're, you know, and I'm not saying anybody's, you know, taking him to fucking the Walter Payton Man of the Year award or whatever, but it's like, it's certainly not. But I'm pretty sure Greg Olsen wins that every year anyway, but for whatever reason. So
from the broadcast booth.
Yeah. You know, God, he's got a weird head, huh? So
and a crooked leg now.
Yeah. He was good. I liked him when he played for the Bears. I was mad that we lost him to Carolina, but yeah. So, but like, it's just this thing of like, they're like, yeah, he's, you know, they talk about, they might not use these words, but they talk about him as an ambassador for the game. And they talk about him as a guy who is on the level with, say, like a Drew Brees. Like, they kind of mention him in the same breath as like a Drew Brees quite a bit. And I think like, you know, he's from our era. He was one of those like big five guys from our era, you know, that we kind of all grew up watching. And the idea that we celebrate long careers in football is a good thing, because it's fucking hard to have a long career in football. I totally get that. To me, it's just like, you can say that shit, but I really think you should mention that he's also a piece of shit for the sake of your brand, you know, for the sake of like what you represent, because he is. And everybody knows it. And just because you're not saying it when you're talking about him winning 2 Super Bowls doesn't mean everybody doesn't know it.
If Ben had retired 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I think it would have been talked about more.
I wonder if he knew that. I wonder if him and his publicist had that fucking conversation, which is also gross, you know?
Listen, time heals everything. It shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. But the more time that goes by, the more longevity you have in your career and like more positive things since that moment, the less people are going to remember it. It's
sure.
Just,
and I'm sure that's true of that girl that he raped also, but I'm sure she's doing better now than she was, you know, right after it happened. But let me ask you this, in the context of the Hall of Fame, shouldn't that keep him out of the fucking Hall of Fame at the very least, as the bare minimum?
That's such a slippery slope though, man. That's such a, because
it's a slippery slope. OJ Simpson alone.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed him.
Sure. Other people that shouldn't be in there doesn't mean that we should add more people that shouldn't be in there. You shouldn't add to the problem to make the problem go away. You should address the problem and start to fix the problem.
To the people that's like, yo, OJ Simpson's in there, like there's some other people that we don't know that's done some wild stuff.
Sure.
That, yeah, we'll never know. But I wanted to go back to another athlete that we talked about in the group chat earlier, and that's one Kobe being Bryant. And I wanted to go back to your point, David. You talked about the media coverage because it's a bigger athlete. If that was Kareem Rush, and once again, if you don't know who that is, he played on the Lakers around that time. He was a young player. He didn't last in the league that long, but
that's a name, bro. You pulled that out like it was fucking nothing. Kareem Rush, 7.2 points a game back in 2012.
He went to a D1 school and played in Missouri, so I mean, people may know who he wasn't, whatever. But anyways,
I thought you were making another point about Kareem Hunt. You fucked his name up because he got a lot of rushing yards.
Kareem Rush he's a shooting guard, two guard?
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, he's a two guy, yeah. Lefty too, that's how I remember him. But anyways, if that was Kareem Rush, like, no one would have said much because it was like, okay,
he'd be in jail.
He'd be in jail. We throw his career away. He's just another guy that got drafted by the Lakers and caused his and threw his career down the drain. Even remember when Gilbert Arenas, the other one, Gilbert Arenas with Jabbar's crazy, like they bring guns into the locker room. Once again, that's a whole different thing. But he gets basically blackballed like it was like some like when he had shot someone in the arena. It's like, yo, like it's amazing. And Jabbar Clinton, he's in jail, but it was like, they gave chance after chance to Gilbert Arenas because he was that guy. So, like I said, it just goes back to what we said. The more talent you are, the more chances you're gonna get. Yes, I agree with you, Dave. They should bring it up. It shouldn't just fade away. I want to make the other point about Kobe when Kobe did pass away tragically in 2020, which I can't believe it's about to be 2 years on. That's crazy.
It's been a while.
It's wild.
It's wild. Gail King, who's one of the people that I know she's super cool. Oprah, she did the interview.
Yeah, Oprah's friend. We know
she bashed Kobe, saying that he was a great basketball player, but
she took a lot of shit for that.
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg was leading the charge.
Yeah,
he went fucking in on her, and I'm not gonna lie. I was with Snoop. With them. I'm like, yo, yes, he did X, Y, and Z, but I'm like, the way that just fucking happened. That's what we want to focus on. Like, this is not like he died in a fucking car crash or he went around the bank and got shot. Like, him and his daughter and other families lost their lives.
Yeah, well, what else do you really want the guy to do? What else do you really want the guy to do? He's died. So there's no way to punish him anymore. So
that's the only time that got me mad, honestly. Like any other stuff, like I said, if like we joked about it earlier, like, yeah, if Roethlisberger passed away tomorrow, I'd be with you, Dave. I'd be saying the same shit. But I'm like, the way that happened with Kobe, I'm like, and his daughter too. I'm like, nah, girl. Like, this is not the time to bring that shit up. I'm sorry, it's not the fucking time.
Read the room, Gail.
Yeah, read the fucking room.
When people talk about Kobe's legacy as a player, as a legend, it's still brought up. You know what I mean? It's still a thing that is brought into the Kobe.
No, it's not. Not to anywhere close to the level it was brought up before. Because of what Rayshawn was talking about.
Absolutely not. But it's still a thing. And I feel like that is how it is going to be with Ben. It's like, when you talk about Ben Roethlisberger, that's always the thing. It's like, yeah, okay, he was a very long, he was a quarterback for a very long time. Won the 2 Super Bowls. First one, he didn't do shit for. Second one, he legit won.
Didn't lose it though.
He definitely didn't. Willie Parker won that one, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, but
right?
like you can be a quarterback and you can fucking lose the game for your team.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right? Rex Grossman comes.
Just ask
to
Cam Newton. He knows. Rex Grossman's better actually. But I'm just a better example. Not better than Cam Newton. Okay, but
I don't know. Shitty is shitty as far as I'm concerned.
I agreed.
As a fucking all-time Super Bowl bad performance.
I feel like when it comes down to his legacy, you are going to talk about it. It is going to be something that is included in that legacy. It's just when, in that moment, so like how this all started, right? In that moment when he's walking off the field, right, in Pittsburgh, and, you're like, I can't believe I can't believe, like,
we're gonna do this fucking victory lap for Ben Roethlisberger. Looking toward the offseason, we're gonna have this like long Ben Roethlisberger conversation.
Unfortunately, they are, because they're not doing it for the person that Ben Roethlisberger is. They're not doing it for his actions, any of that. They're doing it for the contributions that he made to the Steelers, winning those Super Bowls. They're pretty much giving his Super Bowls a victory lap. They're giving his 19 years in a Steelers uniform a victory lap.
Are you saying, when you say they, are you talking about Steelers fans?
Yeah. The Steelers organization,
sure,
Steelers
great.
fans.
That's fine. You guys can celebrate that guy. That's all you. Like, honestly, I don't begrudge you. What I'm talking about is the national news media. When, like, at the end of the day, we've created a 24-hour news cycle in sports news also. They need to fill the time.
So you're saying like the media victory lap, not like the on the field.
You create a narrative.
Lap.
That's what they do. You create a narrative. The conflict inside the narrative in the Ben Roethlisberger story is something that's uncomfortable to talk about on a channel owned by Disney. So what they do is they say, I think enough time has passed, like you say, and like, well, the Steelers fans, they didn't, and they make all these arguments and they make all these apologies to themselves and rationalizations to themselves. And then they can turn around and they can present this narrative as Ben Roethlisberger was just a great quarterback and nothing else. That's just all he was. He was a great quarterback and nothing else. And I think that is, and that, unfortunately, and I agree with you about reading the room, Ray, as far as like the Kobe thing goes, because honestly, once he died, I was like, am I going to be the guy talking about Kobe Bryant being a rapist for the next, few months? Like, nobody wants to hear from me. But after, like, A, I'm a Celtics fan. So, B, I'm not a big supporter of rape. I find it should probably not exist if we have a choice as a society. And, yeah, he did that shit. So, when it happened and he was still alive, I was like, well, I don't know. He's a rapist. He's your hero. He's a rapist. So fuck him. But that's what it did. When he died, I shut the fuck up about it because I don't know. It just seemed like the respectful thing to do because he was dead. So in Ben Roethlisberger's case, we're going the opposite direction. I feel like, honestly, the conversation is more like, like people, it's like when you say like, allegedly, it's like, yeah, I think allegedly is enough in this situation, to be honest with you.
When you think about, yeah, okay, we can drag him through the dirt, okay? The list of athletes that actually have been accused of or been involved in some kind of sexual assault case is astronomical. Names that you don't even... So, first one that didn't really surprise me, Vince McMahon, all right? Guy literally has his own wrestling corporate, one of the biggest businesses in all of sports.
And a complete piece of shit.
Right. So there's going to be a trend here, all right? Neymar, complete piece of shit. One of the most talented athletes we'll ever see. One of the best soccer players ever.
Nah, I don't think so.
Accused of raping a woman.
Conversation for another day. He's not in the top 10, though.
Donovan McNabb.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Accusation of sexual misconduct. Along with several other players when they were in the league. Marshall Faulk was fired from NFL Network for sexual assault. Warren Sapp fired from NFL Network for sexual assault. And the last bomb for you, DK, I apologize for doing this to you. Conor McGregor has been accused of sexual assault twice.
No, but that one doesn't count.
I know.
No charges. That one doesn't count. No charges.
But why?
No. Hold on a second. I know you're going to bring this up. Hold on a second.
Does her family think it counts? I bet you they do.
Yeah,
I bet you they do.
There was an investigation, no charges, whatever. But honestly, let me put it this way. I'll put it to you this way.
But that's how other fans are justifying it from Ben. You see how that happens, though?
Right, which is why I didn't put it at Steelers fans' feet. Again, I said that multiple times throughout the whole thing.
Right. But it's the same, right?
It's all the same. Hold on a second. Let me respond to this. How is it the same?
It's pretty well thought out, though.
If I'm saying to you that it shouldn't be put at Steelers fans' feet because they're blinded by their fandom, and then you're saying like, how is that different? And I'm saying,
I'm messing with you. I was saying about maybe that's right.
But what I will say, and this is the important point. This is the more important point. I'm obviously a huge Conor McGregor fan. If it turned out, those accusations, I was ready. I was ready to quit on him. I remember it happening, and I was ready to quit. You were about to delete
all your Pornhub videos. You were getting rid of them
totally.
all.
I jerk off to Conor McGregor, of course. So but the whole thing is it just didn't seem like a thing to me. Now, if it was to the point with Ben, where I was like, well, that definitely fucking happened. But she settled out of court because it's like just easier. That's a little bit of a different situation. Now, if it was the same, I'd say write him off. I'd say take everybody on that list. There's plenty, not just Conor McGregor. There's plenty of motherfuckers that disappointed me to hear that they sucked on that list. There's fucking plenty of them. Get rid of them all. Fucking. I've got infinite patience for fucking excoriating and dereputizing these motherfuckers if they're being gross. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, I felt disappointment about you telling me Donovan McNabb was a piece of shit for like 3.5 seconds, and now I'm going to move on with the rest of my day. But the person he was a piece of shit to likely doesn't fucking feel the same way. If it turns out Conor McGregor's a piece of shit, I will also say as a slight addendum, he's a fucking cage fighter. So like maybe we shouldn't be looking to him for our moral amplitudes.
But just because there's no cage around the field doesn't mean they're not doing a violent sport too.
I don't think it's quite on the same level, but the idea is also like, if you look, I mean, if you want to go to the nuances of that, I think when you have stuff like this happen at the quarterback position with somebody that's a high profile athlete, it's going to reflect really poorly on your sport, because I think they market the quarterback as like the clean cut, like leader of the team, the guy that's supposed to represent the team and the team's values. So when it happens with a guy like that, I think they should come down a little bit harder if they're going to back those sentiments up. But I also think that, again, if Conor McGregor did that shit, fuck him. You know what I mean? It's fine. That's gross. I don't put it at Steelers fans' feet. I really don't. I don't think it's their responsibility.
We forgot one. We forgot about Peyton Manning.
That's fine with me. He sucks. That's cool.
What did Peyton do?
But don't you feel like Ben's was just more serious and more valid? Like, don't you think that the reason that it always comes up?
Time ain't got no. Listen, how you feel about I forget the athlete you just talked about. Well, we talked about Kobe. How you feel about Kobe? How I feel about Peyton Manning? Fuck Peyton Manning. I'm with it. Whether he did it or not, I'm on his head. That his head grew like 20.
Hey, if Kobe Bryant shot like 3 more fucking behind the basket fucking shots on the thing, like I'd probably still be saying it. But like,
that's exactly how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger, man. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate the Steelers.
You should be more on his ass then.
So is he Hall of Famer though?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, he is.
No.
He is.
No. That's my whole point.
Out that big three, he came in with Rivers and Eli, like. The numbers,
the best of the three.
You don't have to put any of them in the Hall of Fame. It's fine.
If I could, I wouldn't put any of them in. I'd put Ben in over the 3.
Eli's got 2 fucking rings. He's got the same fucking credentials as Roethlisberger.
So it bothers me to say this. Phillip Rivers is actually the best out the 3. Actually,
he is.
If we look at the numbers,
he is.
Phillip Rivers is actually better than he's better than both of them. But because he never won, we don't look at him the same. Okay. He becomes another Dan Fouts, like Dan Fouts also played with the Chargers. He becomes any other great quarterback that didn't win. Like that's really what he's become. He was better than both of them, honestly.
Danny White.
Look at the numbers, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a long slew of those guys that didn't win. But
I feel like that's an argument for not putting Ben Roethlisberger in.
What, that Phillip Rivers?
Like, sure.
I mean, but listen, he won for a storied franchise. Same thing with Eli. That's going to get them in there. It is. It is.
No, I'm not saying
Eli beat Brady twice. That's going to get him in.
No, of course he's going to get in. Like I know they're going to put him in there. I'm talking about the wider moral question of like, what kind of sewer do you want to run through your Hall of Fame? Like, what do you want your Hall of Fame to
So
look
you
like?
want the NFL Hall of Fame to be like the baseball Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that's what I said while you were off internet for a second. I was like, if you fart in church, you can't get into the baseball.
You can't get baseball. Yeah.
But in the NFL, which has a little bit of a PR job to do on its own.
Ricky Henderson absolutely injected his ass with steroids multiple times. I can fucking guarantee you that.
When you played 23 years, of course you did.
I talked about this and like, I don't think steroids should keep you out of the baseball Hall of Fame.
No, I know. I agree. But what I'm saying is the reason why David Ortiz is getting in there, despite all that's gone on, is because the media love David Ortiz.
Sure. But like, come on, Big Papi. Come on. So we hung around with some drug dealers. So what? Who hasn't? Whatever. It's Big Papi.
Once again, I have no problem with it. I'm cool. I'm just saying he's going to get in with some other guys. That's like, listen, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, and once again, this is not.
Right. He was a Hall of Famer before he started doing steroids.
Exactly.
He had a Hall of Fame career prior to that.
So Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Roger Clemens is a Hall of Famer. Kurt Schilling, regardless of what you think of his political views, is a Hall of Famer. Like. And he got emotional, so he take me off the balance. Shut the fuck
totally.
up.
I love it.
Steroids, though. That's steroids. That's not a character defamation. That's not who you represent, who you are that represents the game that you play in.
Yeah, but they're taking it out on him though. That's why he's not getting in right now.
No, Kurt Schilling's not getting in because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, no, and I don't think he is gonna get in. I'm pretty sure Barry Bonds is his last eligible year. I don't think he's gonna get in.
That's unfortunate.
He's on pace to get in at the moment, but that's what always happens.
I don't think he's going to get in.
He's not getting in. Now there's Clemens.
It's bad, and now that discredits the Baseball Hall of Fame in a different way.
Agreed.
You know
Absolutely.
I think it's like, it's like they give out this fucking Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and it's lip service. It's fucking PR. It's not a real thing. Like, they don't give a shit. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'd rather they just like fucking say it from their chest at this point, because the idea of like trying to even do public relations for the NFL is a fucking joke. Nobody goes to that guy's office. Nobody gives a shit what that guy has to say. He's been banging the same fucking drum I have for the last 35 minutes, for the last 10 years, whatever his fucking name is. And Roger Goodell's just like, yeah, I don't know, give him another fucking Walter Payton Man of the Year award if you want. They're a despicable organization. And you know what? They get to be. You know why? Because I'm never going to stop ingesting their fucking product. It's like fucking heroin to me. And I will bitch and moan. And in the heroin circle that we're all sitting in, I am the guy going, I'm quitting tomorrow, guys. I'm quitting tomorrow. And it's all going to be fine. I am complaining about being on the drug, but I'm still here talking about the drug.
And as soon as you wake up from your nod.
Yes, exactly. That's enough. That's enough time and thought dedicated to Ben Roethlisberger and his dirty little dick. So moving on to the wider playoff and power ranking pictures as a whole, I think we should use Bobby's power rankings as a fun little template. Bobby, do you have them?
Yeah, I got them right here.
Yeah. All right, can you send them in the chat real quick?
Yeah.
The power rankings have been great, I think, this year, because last year we argued about them a lot because there was kind of a lot of nuance and there was a lot of stuff going on. Now, I mean, a lot of the power rankings are anybody's guess for me for every single week, to be totally honest with you. I can't really make heads nor tails of who is actually good. I think as of right now, I think the Titans are good. I
still don't know.
Yeah, again, I still think they still might be good. But once I look at the power rankings, we can start from 10 and we can go up from 10, and that'll be fun.
Yeah, I could give my take on Tennessee while
give us the take on Tennessee, Ray.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Tennessee is the Utah Jazz of the NFL. A team that's going to kill you in the regular season, do really well, kind of cut, give you a death by 1,000 paper cuts. And then when it matters most, they will fold. So, they're good right now. They don't want to see, they needed it, right? Because there's no one that's more injured than them. But they'll be impressive. Mike Vrabel's impressive. He's a hell of a coach, but they're not going to be explosive enough to do anything in the playoffs with or without Derrick Henry. And I love Derrick Henry.
He might come back, though.
That's such an inhuman thing that he might come back. It's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's you know how I feel about him.
Voodoo. I call it voodoo.
No, he called up Ray Lewis and got that deer antler spray.
Antler spray, bro.
I remember that when that happened. Yeah, that was crazy.
Deer antler.
That was okay at the time, but
he's like, your heart's gonna explode next week, but you're good for game day.
Biceps, good to go though. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, they're gonna kill it in the regular season. But like I said, once they get to the playoffs, they may very well go home in the divisional round, and I expect them to, honestly.
Dante Freeman's been really good, by the way, and he's a little unsung. I think that committee that they kind of sorted out has been good, and I think if he comes back, he might fuck them up a little bit, because we've always talked about this, like, you can never do shit with a running back in the playoffs. Once it comes down to it, like you said, like death by 1,000 paper cuts in the regular season. But is that why you think? Like, are you basing this off last year? Like, once they got there, they just fucking completely.
Just really just recent history with them. Like they are. Like I said, listen, there's no bigger Derrick Henry supporter on the show than the man who's talking. He's awesome, but it's Tannehill I don't trust. I don't trust Ryan Tannehill to get it done when it matters. I just don't. I'm sorry. If they had any other quarterback that's serviceable, I would have said, okay, you got a shot. But number 17, granted, shout out to his agent for getting the money he got him. He's not that guy.
Where are we on Mike Vrabel as a coach, Bobby? Where's the thinking? Do we think he's the guy, or are we got Patriots bias going, or do we think he's good?
Yeah, no, I really like Vrabel. The fact that they're still in it right now, I think, is a testament to Vrabel and how good of a coach he is. Like I said, they're running a committee, and it's not just that running back. When you remember and think back about this season, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones were out for pretty much most of the middle of the season there. And it was just Ryan Tannehill, Deontay Foreman, and what was it, like Nicole Andrews Westbrook or something? I don't even remember what his name was.
Deontay Foreman has like good yardage though.
Yeah, no, Deontay Foreman's he's not bad, but he's not Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously.
So the fact that they've been able to take that, still be the number 1 seed, and they pretty much haven't had their biggest skill positions all year.
They're going to be the number 1 seed if they beat the Texans. And everybody
if they beat the Texans, yeah.
Oh, I thought they already were. Regardless,
they are currently in a continue to be.
Yeah, if they lose,
gotcha.
If they lost, they can drop. If they lose, the Chiefs can jump up, can't they?
Regardless,
yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so I really do like Vrabel. I also like how much balls he has. I really like the Vrabel like kick you in the teeth. I'm gonna fucking rock you. Comes out in the fourth quarter sometimes, and I fucking love it. I love seeing it. Even though it bites him in the ass sometimes, it's just something I like to have on my side when it comes down to it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Did you see that Pruitt kid's ankle though? Like they're so unlucky for injuries in that team. Like that ankle looked fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Like I was like, oh, Gordon Hayward, you're done. And it was like in the pile. So it's just like, ugh. Yeah, he's out for the season too. They have so many injuries, and I would love to see what they would look like healthy, because I think that was going to be their downfall. You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll get the home field advantage and stuff, and the bye week, but I don't know how much that's going to help, dude. Like that kid's out for a year at least. Maybe Derrick Henry comes back and some shit goes down. Again, I'm not sold on running back.
They would play the 4-5, right? They played a 4-5.
Yeah,
whoever that wins that game. So. That's New England right now. Right? New England's the 5 seed, right?
Titans would play the lowest remaining seed. So they would play, it could be if the Raiders ended up winning, the Chargers ended up winning, the Pats, they could end up playing the Pats.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like, I feel like it'd be New England coming up there. I just feel like Buffalo's going to win out, and then, we'll win. I think we'll win next week, but it won't matter because I think they'll have a better record for the conference. We did it when they came in here. Granted, Henry didn't play when they came to New England, but I just feel like we owe them. They ended the era up here, literally. So I think it'd be awesome to go back up there and end their season in Music City. It'd be great. It'd be awesome.
Did you see Ray frothing out the mouth over there? He's
love it. Yeah, can't wait it. Can't wait it.
All right, Bart.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Cardinals. They're still a weird fucking team to talk about. I feel like they lost like 2 or 3 games in a row, right?
Yeah, and then they just beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then I'm sorry to bring this up, but they snapped a 3-game losing streak, or 3-game losing streak for in Dallas, which is no mean feat. I've been an ardent supporter of the Dallas Cowboys this year. I think it's pretty obvious that it's their offense holding them back. We'll get to that. They're still a weird team, the Cardinals. Like I feel like they could go into the playoffs and cause some havoc. I think they're in the wild card right now, but I think. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, just not the only thing that holds me back from the Cardinals is yes, they did just beat Cowboys. It's very upsetting. They shouldn't have. We'll get there. But them not having DeAndre Hopkins is so big for this team.
Yeah.
If he can't come back and be healthy in the playoffs, to me, I don't think they have a shot. Because listen. They got the job done this past week, but AJ Green, Christian Kirk, and Rondale Moore are not getting the job done in the playoffs. Yes.
Yeah, but Kyler though.
Kyler can't do it always. And listen, Kyler's weird, man. He
is. I like that.
But he's so weird to the point where like if Kyler's gonna lead my team down, it's the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, Kyler's running on the field. I don't know if I feel that great about it because I don't know if Kyler really cares if he scores or not. You know what I mean? So like that, I don't know. It always throws me off with Kyler. His body language is weird. He just always looks like he doesn't give a shit to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I don't think DeAndre Hopkins comes back though. I think he's done, isn't he? I don't think that did anyone say there was a possibility like that he was coming back? I thought
they did say he could come back for the playoffs, but But I mean, listen, that's listen, this is not 2008.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, they don't have three 1,000-yard receivers. There's, Steve Breston and Anquan Boulder are working through that door. You feel me? So
what's Larry Fitz up to?
I don't know, but I would give him a call too.
Larry, you in shape? You in shape?
I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is one of the best postseason performers of all time.
I mean, he didn't look that bad in his last season, to be honest with you.
If Anthony Brown wasn't a defensive back for the Cowboys, we wouldn't be talking about the Cardinals because they wouldn't even be in the top 10 right now, in my opinion. But
yeah, I get it. They got talent at the skill positions, and I like them.
11 wins though.
What?
They have 11 wins. It's not like
I'm not very confident in the Cardinals. There's so many red flags about that team. Granted, I'm going to play them in the first round of the playoffs. So the Cowboys are. I feel like this is more me just trying to like talk myself into the fucking Cardinals suck. We're going to whoop their ass. But there's so many red flags for that team, man. So many red flags.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Dallas offense is on, like, don't worry. Like, their size, it won't be a problem. Like, if Zeke and Tony Pollard and like, I mean, I know Gallup just went down, so that's not.
Let's just go on to them. They're next.
Yeah, I mean, we're there right now, so I'll keep going. So, yeah, I know Gallup just went down, so I know that's unfortunate. But listen, the pieces are there offensively, and then, defensively they're there. Your boy Diggs gonna stop gambling though. I'm sorry, I don't care about the 11 picks. The yards he gives up is kind of crazy at times. So stop gambling. Just play sound football at that position and don't get burnt.
I feel he doesn't get burnt as much as people think he does. Yes, he does give up big plays every now and then. He doesn't get burnt as much as people think he does. It's honestly Wilson and Brown have been getting toasted all fucking year. And it makes Diggs look bad at times. But listen, I don't give a shit. Diggs can get aggressive, get me a goddamn interception, because if the offense is playing like that, he fucking needs one.
I think that's their identity. You live by the sword, you die by the sword when you have a defense like that. And I think you got to just go for it. You got to be aggressive, because that's what's brought that defense success. And honestly, I don't think you can tell that defense shit right now, because they're the only thing keeping the fucking Cowboys together with like fucking, with gum and Band-Aids.
Without turnovers, the Cowboys defense is above average.
Yeah.
With turnovers, we're elite. You know what I mean? It's
totally. And your offense needs to become at least serviceable, to be quite honest with you.
It's so frustrating. So this is literally why I wanted to come on the show tonight, because it's so frustrating to me to have, I don't know if it's an injury thing or what the fuck is going on, but there are throws that, listen, Dak's my guy, man. He is my guy. But there are throws that a professional NFL quarterback needs to make, okay? There's a stat that's average DVOA, like per attempt or on third down for quarterbacks, and it's their average of keeping a drive going. So, like, the positive play when you need it, your quarterback gets it for you. Weeks 1 through 9, Dak was like second. Weeks 10 through now, he's like 25th. So it's like, not only is he just making bad decisions and turnovers, but he's not making the little and small plays, and that's what's fucking killing us. It's absolutely killing us, because we'll have instead of a 3rd and 2, because Dak missed a wide open guy in the flat on instead of on 2nd and 7, it's now 3rd and 7. You know what I mean? It's just,
I'm not sure I lay it necessarily at Dak's feet on the whole. I think what I've noticed in your offense specifically is that you're not getting those first downs that you need to advance the field position enough to at least give your defense a rest and give your special teams a chance to score you some points. And because like those are the kind of points, and in my opinion, I mean, I've been saying this to you all year, that defense reminds me a lot of the 2006 Bears. And what I always said about them was, we have to make plays on defense, obviously. We make plays on special teams because we had Devin Hester. And our offense just needs to hold on to the ball for a little while. And I feel like the amount of 3 and outs that you guys get is entirely too high for how to execute that game plan. Because that game plan will work if you have an elite defense. Your offense just needs to. Is an identity crisis there, you think, Bobby, where it's just like the offense is like, wait, we still need to be the guys, though. And it's like, no, you need to just play the game and manage the game. I think that's what they should be doing at least.
It's a little in the middle, I think. Because I think Kellen does. I think that's a great word for it. Honestly, identity crisis. Because I think Kellen absolutely knows that his offense is explosive. He knows that when he lets it loose. Listen, did you see what happened in the last 3 minutes of that game? The Cowboys went right down the fucking field, and the Cardinals couldn't stop them. They scored 2 touchdowns in like 5 minutes.
They always do it at the wrong time, though. You know,
but it's like
you got to manage the game better.
I hate to say this, but his play calling is reminding me a lot of Jason Garrett when I started to get fucking sick of him.
Yeah, but everyone you hate just becomes Jason Garrett. It's like role models when he's like, "You're white, you're Ben Affleck." You're white, you're Ben Affleck. Bobby hates you, you're Jason Garrett. Come on, man.
No, but seriously, it's first down, 2-yard run. Second down, fucking incomplete pass, and also the 3rd and 7. Next drive, first down, 2-yard run. Hey, let's change it up. Let's have a screen pass on second down. Stuffed, 3rd and 10. You're like, bro, what are we? Can we stretch the field? We have CeeDee Lamb. We have fucking Amari Cooper. We have Cedric Wilson. What the fuck are we doing? It just drives me. I'm sorry, Dick and Doug. It drives me fucking nuts. Stretch the field, guys.
As a fan of the team, can you tell how an offensive drive is going to go before it happens? A lot of the time, that is a bad sign, because that means that the professional, highly paid people that watch the game tape going into the game can definitely tell what they're going to do on offense before they do it. They do seem a little uncreative. And they have the guys at the skill positions that they should be using to be creative.
But that's what drives me nuts, is like, this is a revelation in the last fucking 8 weeks. The first 8 weeks of this season, they were creative. They were running motions. They were running all this shit. And then they just stopped.
No, they're ballsier. Ballsier?
Maybe. I don't. I feel like they did just get banged up and they just got conservative because they were like, listen.
But they stayed conservative when they got Cooper and Lamb back, though. They stayed conservative. You know what I mean?
I feel like they just got scared, and now they're just stuck in this rut. I know Mike wants to play everyone this week, but if I'm him, I fucking sit everyone, treat this shit as a bye week, and let's go play the Cardinals in a week. Who gives a shit about seeding? Who gives a shit about any of it? Go get me a fucking playoff win. Go get me to the conference championship game. Because I swear to God, if we waste this fucking defense after all these years of a great offense, but giving up fucking 50 points a fucking game and that holding us back, if we finally have an elite defense that can literally take you to a Super Bowl, we have a Super Bowl quality pass rush. We have a Super Bowl quality ball hawking defense. You combo those two fucking things, look out.
It would be a very Cowboys thing to do to fuck this up. Ray, where do you put the Dallas Cowboys? If somebody asked you to part with your hard-earned money, how much of it would you be willing to part with to bet the Cowboys as a Super Bowl winning team this year?
I think they're a very good team, honestly. Like I think eventually they can get there. I know Bobby and some other Cowboy fans I know have been very frustrated with the offense, but once again, it only takes one game. You only have to be on for one game, right? One game at a time. So Dak can easily throw for 400 yards whenever he wants. Pollard and Zeke are a very good 1-2 combo at the running back position. So once again, the Gallup injury hurts, but when you still have that many weapons, like, it reminds me of some good offenses we've seen in the past. So they're going to be fine. Once again, it's nitpicking when you're this good of a team. And like I said, I know it's been a while since the dominance has been there. So I'm not just having a Super Bowl, but just being someone that's going to be around in the picture every single year, or close to it. So, I get it, but like I said, I think they can at least get to the conference championship game. I really do.
I think another thing that's holding us back, you say lack of creativity. One of the biggest things they've done in the second half of the season is they're prioritizing giving the ball to Zeke a lot, which takes away a lot of our offensive creativity, because he is a running back who now is apparently just a single back guy. He doesn't run many deep routes. He doesn't do these things anymore that he did 4 or 5 years ago. Tony Pollard brings a whole different dynamic to the Cowboys offense when he's out there. You look at when we look our best is when Tony Pollard is averaging 8-9 yards a carry, has 5-6 catches. So that's when that's when this offense is firing in all cylinders.
I wonder why they don't run Zeke. I wonder why they don't run Zeke on like just decoy runs then at least. You know what I mean? Like if you're making those plays happen, you don't necessarily have to dump it to him in the flats and like have him run in the open field and like, get fucking beat up. But like you could dummy it, do it once, like close to the sidelines, like dummy it a little bit. Like I just feel like they're not doing that. They're not throwing as many like fake looks out there.
The game that sticks out to me, and I know Bobby knows probably remembers it better than I do, but I just remember him getting screen after screen after screen. Might have been Zeke's second year, or might have been his rookie year. It was against Pittsburgh. It was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was the Dak Zeke game, bro. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it was like a 90-yard screen play. Like it was unreal. Just the defense. I mean, Pittsburgh was trash, but I was like, oh my god! Like I was like, if this guy's doing this and he can run, like how do you stop them going forward? And Dez was still a prominent guy at that time too. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. So, if I'm them, I'm showing that tape on the loop. It's like, yo, this is what you need to be. Because if him and Paulie are both doing that, it's over
him. Like you still have to, because of that stuff, you still have to account for Zeke. You know what I mean? So you run him on those routes. You don't necessarily have to ask him to make the plays. You just ask him to go for a fucking jog. My question, the burning question for me, to directly to a Cowboys fan and a neutral party, I wonder, is the jersey heavy for them going into the playoffs? I've watched them crap out in the playoffs because of the pressure that the Dallas Cowboys culture puts on them, and I wonder if you have an issue already with your identity. Is that going to get to them in the playoffs, Bobby, or do you think that this team has enough of a mental strength?
Nothing gets to the defense. I'm going to say that right now. I've watched a lot of tape on this defense. I've lots of like inside the huddle, lots of that shit. And this defense, they're ballers, man. Nothing gets to them. No pressure. It doesn't matter. They're fucking awesome. The offense does scare me a little bit because I think Kellen Moore can crumble a little bit. I've seen him make some pretty bad calls in some pretty big situations. And also, obviously, Mike McCarthy. So, yes, I think Mike McCarthy can crumble under the pressure of the playoffs, considering he crumbled under the pressure of a Week 17 game against the Cardinals where he didn't have any timeouts left and couldn't challenge a fucking fumble. So, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe rate Mike McCarthy a little higher than you do, but he's your coach, so I get it. He's under more scrutiny. But I do think he's a good coach. I think he put up a lot of shit in fucking Green Bay that maybe some other guys wouldn't have been able to handle. But that's just me. I rate him going to the playoffs. What do you think about McCarthy, Ray? You think he's a guy who can get it done one more time?
I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, he should have gotten there more time than Aaron Rodgers, but once again, they were knocking on the door.
Well, is that Aaron Rodgers' fault though? Like he's the guy.
I mean, but the coach and quarterback are sure. Quote unquote marriage. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's as much as his fault as it is Aaron Rodgers. My thing is, I'm afraid that Mike McCarthy is like a Buck Showalter, of the NFL. So Buck Showalter, was a guy that in baseball that can get your team there. He's going to get you to the playoffs, and you'll knock at the door. You'll be at he was in the ALCS or NCS. Get you there, and then just won't get you over the hump.
Like how Andy Reid used to be.
I mean, obviously McCarthy got there, right? He got there, obviously, but
like a Marty Schottenheimer.
Or maybe even Marty Schottenheimer, Darren Reeves, God rest his soul, just passed away recently. Darren Reeves is another one. I mean, he won was the player, but couldn't get over the hump. They lost in Denver a few times, so.
He has gone over the hump, and I think that makes a big difference. Having done it at least once, I think makes a big difference. He's been there, he's done it, and I think maybe that.
It also helps when you had the Aaron Rodgers, you had Jordy Nelson, you had Donald Driver,
yeah.
You had
and they still barely fucking won it.
So, but if you think about that though, but when you think about it, listen, I know he's not Aaron Rodgers, but that's what makes this all so frustrating. Is like you say, we don't have that. Listen, when Dak is playing at his best, when Dak is Dak, and you can tell within 3 minutes of the game starting, I know what fucking Dak I'm getting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If he's on and he's making those throws, he's unstoppable, man. He is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL when he's on, and there's no doubt about that, right? So
That's Mike McCarthy's responsibility to get that out of them, though.
Agreed.
On a more consistent basis. Like, that's his job. That's his whole fucking job, basically. Everything else is done. He needs to be able to consistently get that out of him. He needs to find out how to get that out of him, how to get him off his houseboat and back in the game for the Washington Sentinels at halftime. It's a replacements reference for the exact age group sitting at home listening to this. All right, we spent enough time on the Cowboys. I will say, finally, by the way, I think if the Packers will lose to anybody in the NFC, I think it's the Cowboys. I think they match up perfectly against them. And I would love to see that game as an NFC championship game, because I just think it'd be a fucking barn
I'm not
burner.
sure Dallas fans want to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
Oh my
No,
God.
of course they don't. Of course they don't.
Bro,
I want to see it. I want to see it. No, it would be such a good game, though. It would be such a good game.
I cannot do another Aaron Rodgers playoff game. All right.
No, you'll be all right.
I can't.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You're
Shut
right.
the
That defense doesn't get rattled by anything. Like, just
How do you make that throw? How does he make that throw he did in that playoff game? That was absurd. Anyways, go on.
All right, let's talk briefly about the New England Patriots. Well,
they're all right. They're all right. Yeah. So, there's nothing really going on with them. It's all right. Anyways, so it's number 6.
I hate to say it, Ray, but like, they bore the fucking pants off me, bud. They're tough to watch from a neutral point of view. They're not the funnest team funnest version of the Patriots I've seen.
It's nothing will ever top 07, obviously, like when you're scoring 50 a game, you know what I'm saying? Or even 2014, 2016, pick a year.
It's definitely less. It's less fun for me than it was last year. That's for sure.
I bet for both of you.
Well, no, I don't give a shit. I don't care if they do well or not. It doesn't. My team's not in the AFC. I don't give a fuck. My personal opinion, like, on the Patriots is like, I just want you guys to be happy. And it was a weird tumble, right? Like, they had the 1 seed, but it seemed a little phony. You were kind of like, I don't know, because like one Jenga block falls, one domino falls, and then look what happens, right? So, where do you think they're at? Like, I said last week, I was on a show with Joe. I said it's Bill Belichick in the playoffs. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But what do you got? Do you have that feeling? You must have some sort of a sense of it. Where do you think they stand?
I'm happy that they are obviously back in the playoffs. To be 1 year away from what that debauchery was last year, to be back in it is awesome. To be a double-digit win team after going 2-4 in your first 6, looked like they were going to maybe win 5 games. So how you doing? How you doing, Anthony?
If it wasn't for the Dolphins, that's all anyone would be talking about, right?
Oh, no, for sure. But I'm glad that Bill made the move to get rid of Cam in the offseason. I firmly thought he was going to stick with them. I think
that was the right call.
Oh, for sure.
That would have been such a bone. Oh my God! Can you imagine if he actually started Cam Newton over Mac Jones? Can you imagine?
It was never going to be the case.
I wish.
The thing is, because like I said, he was okay in the preseason, meaning Cam. So I said, okay, he's probably going to go with them. Whoever, we talked about it. Like, I felt like he built the team to still be around Cam right away. Got the strong running game, get the 2 tight ends. It was kind of going to be like what he looked like in Carolina. So I was like, okay, well, maybe if that's the case, you're putting that trust in him. Let's just see what can happen if he gets better weapons. Thankfully, he said, you know what, revisionist history, I've learned from what I saw with Brady and Bledsoe 20 years ago. Look, if I feel this guy's better right now, I'm just going to go with them, regardless of what the outside, pundits are going to say. That's what he did, and thankfully, let's say we definitely took our lumps. So much that I wanted him out of here after 6 games. Meaning Bill, I was done. I was pissed. I was like, you cannot spend that much money.
Overreacting?
Yeah, me overreacting? No way.
I've never seen you overreact.
Never.
You're wishing death upon your sports teams. You're firing everybody. That's not like you at all.
Right.
If Rayshawn ran a boardroom, the fucking turnover would be unbelievable.
Oh my God. No, I was so mad. I wasn't Celtics versus Bulls. I wasn't that mad yet. Like that night I was.
Let me ask you a question more specifically. It was Mac Jones's worst game. I think this is fair to say. Mac Jones's worst game was against the Bills, and the game where you kind of needed him to be have his best game, because that would have changed a lot of the landscape of where they're at right now.
He was really bad against the Colts too.
He sure, but my question
in the fourth quarter though.
But I think the Bills with the combination of the importance of the game, the where you're at, the need for him to step up, and like the actual performance being absolute dog shit, I think, and being given the chance to throw the ball, you know, and fucking it up. I think my question to you, Ray, is, and you, Bobby, you had a hot young quarterback not too long ago. He's getting a little longer in the tooth now, but it hasn't been too long. How many games, because I need to know for next year, how many games like that do you give a rookie before you decide that he sucks? And how much does how much does his good games factor in, and how good were they to factor in, and like, where are you at with him long term?
Can I go first? Wait, can I go first? I know
sure.
So the biggest factor to me is how bad are those bad games.
But how much is how good are the good games factor in, like which weighs more? Does a bad game weigh more for you?
It does. It depends on how bad it is. So when you're talking Sam Darnold, 5 interceptions against the Patriots a couple of years ago, bad, that's a very telling thing. When a quarterback can look that bad, to me, I feel like that's more telling. With Mac Jones, like, listen, he didn't look awful in either of those games. He still made some big boy throws. He still, dropped a couple dimes in there. It's more the game situation around him broke down, and then he broke down. So I just feel like it's more of like the basements and the pits that you go to really signify how bad you.
Sounded like you're about to break into a TLC song right there.
Hey, right.
Tell me not to go chasing waterfalls. Bobby.
Right. Stick to the rivers of the left as you used to. Right. Exactly.
Just think back to it. So, like, think back to some of the all-time terrible quarterback, where it's like Ryan Leaf. He had some.
Yeah, but guys you thought were going to be good because they were good.
Bro, he was the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, but they were good in the NFL for a bit because Mac Jones had good games. He's had really solid performances. Like, it's like you put in, it's like you draft Brady Quinn. Yeah, he's a hot shot out of fucking Notre Dame. Yeah, he's the number 1 pick in the draft. He stank up the place from start to finish, right? Like, he was just never good. A guy like Dak Prescott, he's been inconsistent as fuck for a number of years. But the highs are fucking high, but the lows are low. So how do you feel about it, Ray? Like, where are you at with Mac Jones? Do you think you can do his bad games look coachable? Do they look coachable to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. His first game, I think he threw was 281. I guess Miami, and they lost by a point. But we saw right away that he was making throws that, whoever was here, whoever played last year or the year before, it just wasn't happening, right? He's super accurate, like I say, and you could tell. I think after that Houston game, when they came back, I think that's when they started to trust him a little bit more. So he makes all the throws he needs to make. I also think the Dallas game was the game that turned it around for him, even though they lost.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it was a moral victory, though.
No shit.
No.
You're talking about for Mac. I don't mean for the Patriots.
Sure.
For Mac Jones.
Sure.
Mac throws the pick six. Diggs gets it, runs it back. The next play, he goes right back at him and throws it to the board, gets a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So
it wasn't his fault. That was Wilson over the.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, the fact that he was in that area, and it's just like, you would think that, okay, I'm not going to throw it over there because he may get it again. But just to have the confidence he was throwing back over there in his area showed me, I'm like, okay, like, this kid is not going to get rattled. And even in that Colts game, it was definitely bad for 3 quarters, but, I just think, the Alabama thing kicked in, what he learned so far from Josh and Bill so far kicked in. I was like, okay, calm down. You made some good throws, and I love the connection he has with Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry has been
best. I think that's his best weapon.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's been a safety blanket, to say the least. And
well, that was gonna be my next question
to
you is how mad are you at your receiving core? Also, I mean, it's like N'Keal Harry is not.
It's really just him. Like I said, Kendrick Bourne's been fine.
He's been good. Aguilar's good.
Aguilar's been decent. Bourne's been fine. Jacoby Myers has been fine.
But N'Keal Harry gets so many looks, though.
Say again?
He gets so many looks. That's always been my issue with it. N'Keal Harry, I feel like he gets they look to him so much.
He's a fucking joke, and I can't. I've been waiting to do this. Like I was hoping I was going to be next up. I was hoping I didn't have to work or do anything. Cause I was like, if I did work, I was going to take it off because I wanted to talk about how fucking bad N'Keal Harry is. I cannot believe that Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, I would have taken DK Sizzle over fucking N'Keal Harry right now. Like that's
underrated hands, my friend. Contact lenses. I'm
sick of it that,
you've got a ring on the finger to prove it.
Yeah, you're 6'4", fucking 225. You should be a physical specimen. You should be a guy that gets whatever he wants out there. You can't get separation. You can't catch worth a damn. Like when
he does catch the ball, you can't do shit.
Right. It's like, I remember the couple catches he made a few years. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Guess the Cam. One of the better throws Cam had last year.
I remember this.
Throws him on the run. He catches it and he fumbles at the fucking 1 yard line. Like, what are we doing? Oh God. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. If you listen to the show and you can put in the show notes, Craig, we've done a game where it says get that out of here. I'm new game. Get N'Keal Harry
out.
We can just call that game N'Keal Harry from now on because it's.
I love it.
I love it.
Get that shit out of here.
Put that on a t-shirt, Craig. Put it on a t-shirt. $24.99, mccpshow.com. But no, listen, man, like get him out of here. Get him out of here. I can't do it. Send him to Logan. Send him back to Arizona because clearly he's just, I don't know. The man's lost. He's lost. I'll take Antonio Brown right now. Come back, Antonio. Yes,
That's not a bad idea.
I'm delusional. Take Antonio Brown. Come back. We only have one game with you. Come back. But listen, Christian Wilkerson, had a really good game. Now, he drops the ball a lot, so he has to work on that. But the fact that he scored 2 touchdowns, I'm like, he's already better than fucking N'Keal Harry. Get that man off my fucking team. Get him out of here. Send him to Logan Airport immediately. Craig, come get him. Let him help you out with the soundboard over at your radio station.
Somebody get this man a job so he doesn't play for the Patriots anymore.
We don't want that. He'll drop the signal, bro. Come on. We don't want that.
Yeah, that's right. He'll drop the signal. All that bullshit. Get him out of there, though.
But
get him out of there.
It's so funny because when you think back to that draft, so I had the number 1 pick in my dynasty draft that year for fantasy, and I was down to N'Keal Harry and DK Metcalf. That was an actual decision that I was making as well. So this was a thing back then. However, since that day they drafted him, I don't think that there has been one time over the 3-year career that he's had. 2 year?
3 year. It's his 3rd year.
Yeah. Essentially, because there has not been one positive highlight. I have not seen one thing that has come across my screen that was like, hey, N'Keal Harry did this. Like Scott Hansen.
He's had a couple decent catches in his career, but nothing like highlight reel worthy.
No, but there's only one play. The play that should have been a touchdown they didn't call against Kansas City his rookie year. That was a fucking touchdown. That we would have beat Kansas City, and it might have been a different story in the playoffs.
Might have ruined him.
No, it was worse.
No, man, he was already ruined. But let's be honest. But that was a really good play. He showed his beast mode mentality then, and we never saw it again.
It's frustrating because we've seen him make good plays. Go back and watch his Arizona State tape. He's amazing. He can make good contested plays. He just can't do it at an NFL speed.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
he's got the name. It really sounds like a football name.
That's an NFL marketable name. But to be fair, based on, just by Bill's drafting history, I think any of those wide receivers who got drafted to the Patriots that year would have ended up like N'Keal is. Like, if it was Metcalf, I think he'd be in the same boat.
No, Deebo would have been a fucking problem. Deebo Samuel, he is a Patriot wide receiver. That would have been Edelman. Deebo Samuel would not have been as bad as N'Keal Harry. Maybe DK Metcalf, maybe
is Bill creative enough offensively to use Deebo? Because Deebo wasn't Deebo until this year. Remember that. Until they turned Deebo into...
DK Metcalf's a fucking specimen, dude. I think DK Metcalf's more likely to do well in the Patriots than Deebo, to be honest with you.
DK Metcalf's doing well anywhere, bro. DK Metcalf is going to do well.
Honestly, AJ Brown would have been, to me, really the best guy here, honestly. I just think he would have fit the best there, but I mean, hell, he wanted to be here. I mean, he talked about, he cried a few weeks ago saying about, oh, I really thought I was going to be a Patriot, and they drafted someone else. But did you guys hear that shit on the broadcast, though? That basically Jacoby Myers came here because they drafted Nikhil, and it was like he wanted to prove that he was just as good as a first-round pick, and even though going undrafted. Well, guess what, Jacoby? You're fucking right, sir. You're way better than that first-round pick, and you've become our number one. Despite what Craig feels about you, you have become our number one receiver, and you're doing awesome, buddy.
My rationale for Jacoby Myers is he's a decent NFL wide receiver, just not great on any other team. On the Patriots, yeah, he's number one receiver. Anywhere else, he's a 3 at best.
Yeah, I guess the headline we can take away from this discussion is
it's really good.
You can be better. You can be better than a number one NFL draft pick. You just need to find one that sucks.
Listen, we got to talk about the Bengals.
All right, we'll do the Bengals. We're doing the Bengals, and then we're fucking calling it a night.
All right, fine. So
all right, let's go.
Listen, can I just say, right, the Bengals, their value at plus 2,000.
It's a good bet
for the odds is absurd.
That's a good price.
I don't know why this team is being underestimated because they're everything the Cowboys offense is supposed to be. You know what I mean? They got those 3 stud wide receivers. They are explosive. They have a running back who scores touchdowns. They have a defense who comes up big when it needs to. That team is something. The only thing that could hold them back is Zach Taylor. That's the only thing that scares me about the Bengals. But, man, listen, do you have any doubt that Joe Burrow is going to show up in a big game? Because I don't. Joe Burrow's showing up and playing well in a playoff
That's the
game.
important part.
Guarantee
That's
you.
the important part for me. I think that dude has full-on proven himself to be the real deal.
Bro, he's a dog.
Saw it on Sunday.
He's a dog.
I think he's got grit. I think he's got it. Whatever it is, I don't know what that kid's got, but it's something. And he's got heart. And also, that's great radio, Bobby. The other thing is he's going to show up in a big game. He just is going to show up in a big game. And I think that's a good price. I'm really glad you pointed that out.
Plus 2,000, man.
Yeah, that's a good price for that.
I bet it before we came on.
That's good. But no, I think Joe Burrow might got the goods, guys. I don't know, maybe this year, maybe not, but I think he's got the goods.
He's everything that Baker Mayfield should have been.
They thought they were getting Joe Burrow, those poor fucks. They really did. I've been saying that shit.
You add in, you're bringing in his number one wide receiver when he won a national championship in college. Bro, they didn't even have to, it was just kind of like Chase showed up and was just like, yo, what's up, Joe? What's up? Yeah, you want to do this? Yeah, let's go.
He's so much better than Baker Mayfield that I wish that they did those commercials where he was living in the stadium, because I believe that if it's Joe Burrow. Baker Mayfield goes home and he fucking has somebody press his clothes for him and shit. Joe Burrow, he would fucking live at the stadium. He would. I believe in him.
Good hypothetical for you.
It is.
Baker gets cut. How quick is the over-under that Joe Burrow takes those commercials over? Because I think that's
dude, honestly, I got to make some phone calls.
And the first commercial is, I'm the real king of Ohio.
Yeah.
Let's go. Call him up.
That'd be good. I gotta make sure this is happening, honestly, because it's too much. You can't be was it State Farm does those?
Yeah.
Or is it who is it? Whatever.
State Farm.
I don't know. State Farm bet the wrong horse is all I'm saying. And it's okay. It's okay to fix your mistake.
Have you ever seen an average? Not turn this into a Baker. Have you ever seen a bad, not just average, a bad athlete, someone who's not good at their sport on TV as much as Baker Mayfield? I don't think it's ever happened.
What is that?
I don't think it's ever happened.
Why did we make him into this guy without him actually doing anything?
That's what happens when you get the number one pick.
I guess, but you're under more scrutiny a lot of the time.
Alex Smith wasn't on my TV 7 hours a day. Okay.
Yeah, it was also 2005 though.
What?
It was also 2005. Different era.
Yeah, Bobby. You were fixing your antennas on top of your TV. You could barely get ESPN at that point. All right. So different era.
Bro, you think I had rabbit ears? Come on.
I don't know. I had them.
I did too.
I was plugging that aux cable right in the back of the TV.
Wow, look at you, fucking fancy pants. If you're so fancy, how come I've never seen you at the opera? All right. Well, we talked a little bit about the Bengals. Yeah, we have to call it. But listen, that was fun. This has been the Missing the Point podcast. Another fun-filled and exciting week in the world of sports. I think we answered some questions. I think we probably solved most moral questions that the world contains today. So,
did we solve world hunger yet?
Yeah, actually, that's on next week's episode.
Okay.
So do not forget to tune in next week with a probably different cast of characters. But shout out, rest in peace, Betty White. Super sad she's dead. Just wanted to say that she's the coolest.
You ever work with her?
No, my brother did though. And he said she was super nice. So yeah, I'm sorry to say that she's passed away, but The Golden Girls is on Hulu. If anyone wants to watch it, it's hilarious.
How fucked up is it that we made it all the way through 21, right? Made it all the way. It was almost fucking over, and the year just couldn't fucking let Betty White or John Madden get through the fucking year.
She went out right at the time where everybody was gonna toast her the most. I think it was a classy stage exit from a fine television personality. But I think, yeah, that's sad, and it's a sad note to end it on. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. DK Sizzle, Real BK Bob Kelly, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, for our producer Craig D'Alessandro. Thank you all for being a friend. Good night.
Welcome to the Reverie Channel, where entertainment knows no bounds. Live concerts, on-demand music, documentaries, and short films, all in stunning HD. Now on Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Immerse yourself from home. And on Android and iOS for those on the move. Support creators with crowdfunding donations. Fuel their creativity. Join us in shaping entertainment's future. The Reverie Channel, where every view, every donation matters.
Are you a fan of classic cinema or a young person who wants to discover the best films of all time? Do these legendary movies still hold up?
On the Generation Film podcast, two guys who grew up when movies dominated the culture share a great film with a panel of young movie lovers and see how it plays for today's generation.
We discuss changes in storytelling styles, representation,
The making of each film, its initial reception, and how its meaning has changed over the years.
Join us as we explore cinema classics across generations on Generation Film.
Electricast. Electricast.